And Leo came to the office, man, to meet with me. And here was the deal. Rap-A-Lot and I were at a gridlock at that point in my career. We're at a gridlock. Like, I wasn't dropping no more albums, and they wasn't giving no more money. So we were at a gridlock, and I had responsibilities. So I had to be very crafty.
So you make an executive move.
I made an executive move. Brilliant.
Turns out Finesse2Tymes isn't the only one who's had it rough with Jay Prince in his camp. Based on what's been circulating online, a bunch of artists who signed with Rap-A-Lot ended up tangled in contract disputes or business drama down the line.
I made an executive move, and I was making an astronomical amount of money. I was making more money working at Def Jam than I was rapping. 2001, I was doing that. But the move was, me and James in the gridlock with this. And
it's a pattern that pops back up every couple of years, usually right when some new artist starts hinting their deal wasn't what it looked like on paper. And every single time it happens, the same old names get dragged back into the conversation. Like the industry can't quite shake its own history. So let's actually dig into this and see if it's just a coincidence or if there's something bigger going on here. Finesse posted a clip of Scarface.
Came to the office, man, to meet with me. And here was the deal. Rap-A-Lot and I were at a gridlock at that point in my career. We're at a gridlock.
Who signed with Jay Prince Sr.'s Rap-A-Lot back in the 80s. In it, Scarface talks about his own run-in with James Prince and how he ended up, in his words, stuck in a bad deal. That's the exact clip Finesse put on his page, clearly trying to make a point, and it blew up almost instantly. Within hours, fans were digging through old interviews, old lawsuits, old rumors, trying to figure out if what Scarface went through decades ago is basically what Finesse is dealing with right now. And once one fan account starts pulling receipts, it never stays contained to just one account for long. In the clip, Scarface says,
like, I wasn't dropping no more albums, and they wasn't giving no more money. So we were at a gridlock. And I had responsibilities. So I had to be very crafty.
So you make an executive move.
I made an executive move. Brilliant. I made an executive move.
My question is, why hold a black man back? It's supposed to be each one teach one. I understand it's business, but people don't know nothing about business. Why put a black man's life on hold just because he lacks business sense?
Finesse's response, basically, glad you could find a way through it. Jay Prince Jr. pulling the same move on me. So it looks like Finesse2Tymes has been going through the archives, studying exactly how other artists who signed to the Prince family got stuck in their contracts. And doing that research now could mean he's trying to find his own exit from whatever's going on with mob ties.
And an astronomical amount of money. I was making more money working at Def Jam than I was rapping. 2001, I was doing that. But the move was, me and James in the gridlock with this.
People online are watching him piece it together in real time. And honestly, that alone says a lot about how serious he is about this. This isn't somebody randomly reposting an old clip for fun. This looks like someone building a case, one repost at a time. Back in that Scarface clip, he lays out exactly how things came to a head. Jay Prince came to the office to meet with me, and here was the deal. Rap-A-Lot and I were at a gridlock at that point in my career. I wasn't dropping any more albums, and they wouldn't give me any more money. So I had responsibilities, and I had to be very crafty. I made an executive move. And then he drops this. I was making an astronomical amount of money, more money working at Def Jam than I was rapping. That was 2001. But the move was me and James at that gridlock.
Sit with that for a second. This is a guy who was already a star, already had a name.
And
so let me cut y'all. Is y'all in the gridlock? Are you saying you wanted more money and they were just holding firm?
I'm not sure what the beef was. That was 20-something years ago.
Yeah.
But we was at a disagreement. I wasn't recording, and that was that.
Okay.
And his paces game is, he played long ball too. So
saying flat out that the business side paid him more than the actual music did. That's the kind of line that sticks once it starts making the rounds, because it flips the whole narrative people usually assume, that the label wins and the artist gets left with nothing.
It's rare you hear an artist admit the suit and tie side of the business actually outpaid the mic. If Finesse actually finds what he's digging for, this could change everything. Word online is he's been keeping tabs on how similar contract fights have played out across the industry, talking to people, trying to understand the legal angle, figuring out how artists actually protect themselves once things start moving fast. Lawyers, other artists who've been through it, industry insiders, whoever it is, the point is clear. He's not just posting for clout. He's building something. And once fans start seeing it that way, every new repost feels less like gossip and more like evidence.
Let's play the long ball. So I went and got me a job.
A hell of a one, though.
A hell of a job, yeah. That was a cold move. I ended up getting Ludacris. And like I said, I tried to sign a whole lot of other artists.
When asked what the actual beef was about, Scarface says, "I'm not sure what the beef was. That was 20-something years ago. But we were at a disagreement. I wasn't recording, and that was that. He played the long game too, so I said okay."
Nothing's confirmed, but the whole internet's watching to see what Finesse does next. Meanwhile, Mob Ties hasn't said a word about any of this, and that silence is basically becoming its own storyline. When a label goes quiet, fans assume there's a reason for it, and the longer the silence stretches out, the louder the speculation gets. Scarface keeps going, talking about what came after. "I played the long ball too, so I went and got myself a job, a hell of a job. That was a cold move. I ended up getting Ludacris. I also tried to sign a whole lot of other artists who are extremely famous right now. Rick Ross, T.I., Jeezy. I tried to get boys in the hood too. They went with Big G. I know Jeezy was around, but I don't remember all the details. It's been so long. I used to hang out in Mechanicsville with Big G. I need to call him and see how he's doing. I also tried to sign David Banner."
That are extremely famous right now. Rick Ross, T.I.
Jeezy.
What was their names though? What was the name of that group?
Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood. I tried to get them.
Slim Thug, Paul Wall, Chamillionaire, and Flip. Tried to get them all to come down to Def Jam South. Didn't happen. That's a stacked list once you actually think about it. Some of the biggest names to ever come out of the South. All names Scarface says he tried to lock down. Whether any of those deals ever really got close doesn't even matter that much. The fact he's still rattling them off decades later tells you this chapter of his life stuck with him. It's the kind of thing you only remember in that much detail if it still bothers you a little.
Still, nothing's officially confirmed about any legal moves or contract changes, but the noise online just keeps growing. Some say all this digging could actually force more transparency in the industry. Others think it's just speculation snowballing into something bigger than it really is. The whole Finesse2Tymes situation is spilling into every corner of social media at this point, with people picking apart old interviews and old quotes tied to Mob Ties and Rap-A-Lot.
Oh, it was something else, but it was Big G. I know Jeezy. I don't remember Jeezy, but I know he was there. But
Jody Breeze, I think he was in that group.
I don't, man. It was so long ago, man. But I used to hang out in Mechanicsville with Big G, man. I gotta call my dude, man. See how he doing, man.
Some think these old clips are finally proving what artists were warning about years ago. Others think the internet's just stitching a bigger story out of loose threads. Either way, the clips keep getting reposted, and every repost adds a new theory to the pile. There's another clip going around of an artist telling their label, "Let me go. We already made all the money we can make together. I don't want to go to another label with you. I love you, but I no longer want to be misused. I love all the money, but it's time for me to get a new look. Let me out of that contract. I'm done. We haven't made any money. I've been with you 4 years, and we haven't dropped anything but 2 projects."
Big G. I tried to sign a lot of that. David Banner, Slim Thug, Paul Walker, Millionaire, Flip. Try to get them all to go to Def Jam South. And
nothing's hitting with the music.
Insiders claim there's way more happening behind the scenes than what's actually being said out loud, but again, none of it's verified. Still, every post and clip is getting picked apart like it's hiding some deeper message, and the tension keeps stacking up by the day. That's honestly what makes this kind of story impossible to stop watching.
Every new clip feels like the one that's finally going to confirm what people already suspect. The chatter around Finesse just keeps escalating.
We done already made all the money we can make. I don't want to go to no another label with you. I love you. But I no longer want to be monetized business-wise. I love all the monetized street.
With fans now comparing his situation to other artists who ran in the same circles. Old interviews are getting replayed non-stop, with people swearing they're catching details they missed the first time. Even with nothing actually proven, comment sections are split down the middle, some calling this a real red flag in the industry, others calling it pure internet speculation running wild. Either way, every clip adds more fuel to an already hot conversation. As this keeps spreading, more people are zooming in on how music contracts actually work and how much artists really understand before they sign anything. Finesse's supporters say this whole situation is opening people's eyes. Critics say the online conversation is blending fact and speculation until it looks way more dramatic than it probably is. Still, no official statements anywhere, and that hasn't slowed a single repost.
It's time for me a new look, Junior. It's time. Let me out that contract, bro. I'm done with that contract, bro. We ain't made no money. I've been with you 4 years, P. We ain't dropped number 2 projects. Ain't monetized, ain't hitting on nothing with the music.
The talk is shifting into bigger questions now. Artist rights, who really controls what, how much power labels and affiliations actually hold behind closed doors. This isn't a new debate in hip-hop, honestly. Artists have been asking these same ownership questions since the genre started. What's different is how fast old stories can get dragged back up and slapped onto a brand new situation. Even without a single verified update, this thing keeps spreading at full speed, with every new comment thread adding another layer. And every time a new artist tells even a piece of a similar story, this whole cycle gets a little more credibility in the eyes of fans watching from the outside. Momentum still building, with more people digging through old industry relationships and pointing out how often this exact kind of contract drama shows up throughout hip-hop history. Some think they're spotting a real pattern. Others think the story's being stretched way past what the facts actually support. Either way, nothing official has surfaced, and that hasn't slowed anything down either. The conversation keeps branching out too, with people comparing this to other artists who felt trapped in long deals before. Old clips keep resurfacing. Fans are literally building timelines, trying to line up dates and old quotes to see if it all connects. Still zero confirmation on any actual disputes or contract changes, but the volume just keeps climbing across every platform. More creators are jumping in now too, breaking down old interviews and old label ties, dragging all of it back into the spotlight. Some think these old moments are proof of a bigger pattern. Others think people are reaching way past what's actually provable. Either way, no verified updates, no slowdown in the conversation. At this point, the whole thing has spilled into a much bigger conversation about how artists deal with contracts and label relationships long term. People are revisiting old power dynamic discussions in the industry, with some saying this keeps happening for a reason, and others warning the whole narrative is getting blown up without real proof behind it. Still no official word on anything, but that hasn't slowed the momentum one bit. Honestly, stories like this never stick around because of one big reveal. It's the slow pileup of small details, old clips, and half answers that never fully add up. Fans fill in whatever gaps are left themselves, and every new post gives them one more piece to work with, whether it actually connects to anything real or not. That's exactly why a Scarface interview from years ago can suddenly feel urgent again the second Finesse2Tymes reposted with the right caption. And that's kind of the whole game with these stories. It's never really about the original clip. It's about how many new pieces people can attach to it after the fact. What's interesting is how a story like this keeps snowballing without a single new fact actually being confirmed. Nobody's dropped a lawsuit, nobody's released a document, nobody's given a real statement. And yet, the conversation keeps growing louder every single day. That's the internet in a nutshell these days. Speculation doesn't need proof to spread. It just needs a reason for people to keep talking. And a story involving contracts, money, and one of the most powerful families in Southern hip-hop, That's more than enough reason. And that's where things stand right now with Finesse2Tymes and everything swirling around it. As more details keep surfacing and old stories keep getting dragged back up, this clearly isn't cooling off anytime soon. Stay locked in for every twist, every new clip, and every detail as it drops. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next.